Okay, I've got a question for you. Have you ever wanted to buy something that you knew you didn't really need? You kept checking it out and put it in your shopping cart and kept putting it off, and then like a year and a half later you're still thinking about that thing and you still don't really need it, but you're still thinking about it? Because that's exactly where I'm at with the Atomos Ninja V. But as you may have guessed already, the reason that I actually left my apartment in minus 30 degrees Celsius is because we are headed down to a camera store right now to go buy one, and we're gonna talk about it. The catch with the Atomos, and the reason that it's taken me so long to pull the trigger on this thing, is because it's not going to technically improve my video quality. It's not going to be something that's noticeable. It's only going to improve my efficiency and my workflow and give me some things that I didn't have before as far as making videos easier. Maybe there will be quality improvements because I'll do more or be able to see more, but this isn't like a simple quality upgrade for me, like going from 8-bit to 10-bit or going from 1080 to 4K. It's really all about my workflow and experience. And sometimes paying for that efficiency and convenience can totally be worth it. Take, for example, my video that I made called Don't Buy a Full Frame. You guys loved that title. That video was all about how I personally think that for most people, it doesn't make sense to buy full frame. But do you want to guess how many times in there I talked about the quality being better on cameras other than full frame? It was 0. It had everything to do with everything except quality. Things like cameras being smaller, lighter, cheaper, all of those kinds of things. We don't just buy gear to improve quality. So in this video, I want to talk about the reasons why I'm buying the Atomos Ninja V, some of the ways that it can make my life easier for making videos, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusions as well. Anyway, I'm freezing out here, and that's enough talk, so let's go spend some money. It is so cold outside that when I blow on my hands, it actually feels too hot right now. Definitely regretting leaving the house. Big shout out to McBain Camera. They're always so helpful in there. But I was a smart guy, and yesterday I texted Gerald Undone and asked him if there was anything that I needed to make sure that I had. And he pointed out a couple of little things. So there are some other things that we're gonna need to get from elsewhere. So one more stop, and then we're talking about this monitor / recorder. All right, until I get home and realize that I'm missing something, I think I'm good. Okay. This is everything that we got today. Let's do a quick unboxing. And then just one last step that everybody loves. So this is it. We've got the Atomos Ninja V monitor recorder. We've got the caddy that will then hold the hard drive itself. This is an adapter for the power supply. And we've got the adapter for the hard drive to be plugged into a computer so that I can read the files afterwards. And then also a cable to connect to the camera. Now, hopefully, that's everything. Been around the block enough times to know that sometimes you go out and you buy everything you think you need when really there's a little bit more and you're missing something. So, you know, hopefully. I've got batteries already for this guy, so I'm gonna grab one of those now. Slap that in there and get rid of this power supply. Install the hard drive, which apparently I need tools for. Okay, hard drive is installed. Let's slide it in there. And now we're left with this. Okay, so if you don't already know, this is called the Atomos Ninja V, and it is a monitor, but it's also a recorder. It's been out for a little while. It's not super new, so there are lots of reviews and that kind of thing on YouTube already, but it's a super powerful unit that you can use to kind of enhance your workflow capabilities. Having a monitor is really handy. I have a couple of those that I use sometimes, but specifically on the Sony cameras, having a monitor takes away a couple of things. This actually has some ways that fix that. So you know what, before I get babbling on too much, let's hop into the reasons that I bought this, the reasons that this is going to be useful for me, and it might be useful for you as well. But first, coffee. Space Goat coffee. I got it in a little care package from the Polar Pro team. So thanks so much to Polar Pro for sending me something delicious to drink while making this video. And speaking of Polar Pro, this is called the Polar Pro Axis, and I'm going to use it to mount this monitor onto my camera. Okay, so reason number one that I went out and got this today after, like I said, much research and sitting on it for a long time is just for its monitor functions. It can be super helpful to have an external monitor, something that's bigger and brighter than the one that's on your camera, so that it can be better to see what you're doing. And also they come with built-in tools a lot of the time. Now I have other monitors that I use, and most of those happen to be kind of budget versions. And so they have some of these things built in, but they might not be easy to access, or they might not work as well as you want them to. This thing, as far as I'm aware, has everything that you could possibly want built into it. It's pretty fantastic. So we've got the ability to de-squeeze like anamorphic stuff. We've got guides here for shooting in different ratios. There's some more different kinds of guides. We've got a 2x punch in. We've got a 1-to-1 punch in. We've got false colors, we've got zebras, we've got focus peaking, and some of the tools that you might be used to seeing when you go into the Lumetri scopes. We've got parades and such in here as well. So you can see exactly what you're doing when you're trying to expose your shot. The a7 III that I'm primarily probably going to be using this on has focus peaking, zebras, and a waveform. And I'm pretty sure that's about it. But everything else is something that I could only get by adding an external monitor onto it. Now you can do a lot of these things with other monitors, like I have the Andy Cine, or you could get the Small HD is another popular one. But the next feature that I got this for really makes this stand out against the others. And that comes down to the fact that it's also a recorder, hence why I had to put a hard drive in it. But for me, this solves a very specific problem. With the Sony cameras, excluding the 6600 and the a7R4, when you plug in an external monitor and you're using 4K, you lose your face tracking. So for example, in this situation here, where I would be filming myself using my a7 III, if I wanted to have an external monitor plugged in to have some of those extra features or just better monitoring, whatever it happens to be, immediately I lose face tracking. So I'm not 100% confident in my autofocus capabilities. Typically how I would get around this is I would actually just set a focus point somewhere around where my face should be, and then when I'm moving back and forward, it should be able to track that going back and forward. But I think the face tracking will do a much better job, and now I can have the monitor and the face tracking at the same time. It basically has to do with turning off the internal recording so that it's only allowing you to record externally via HDMI. Now, speaking of this thing being a recorder, one of the other points is that I'm going to be able to record in ProRes. If I'm recording internally with the a7 III, I'm recording to an MP4 container. It's XAVC-S format, which is Sony's compression format, and it's great and all, but because it's such a compressed format, it's hard on your computer when you put it into Premiere or DaVinci or Final Cut Pro or whatever it happens to be. When you put it in there, it has to decompress it and then play it back, and that's a lot of work on your computer. ProRes, on the other hand, is a higher quality and less compressed format, which means that the file sizes are going to be significantly larger, but also it should be easier on my computer. Now get this, right now I record internally on the a7 III with the XAVC-S files, but after that, when I import them to my computer, I'm creating proxies. If you want to know how to do that to make it a little easier on your computer, I'll leave a link up there. You can check out my video on it. Now the files that are going to come out of this are going to be even bigger than both of those files put together, but ideally it should be better because I can edit straight off of these ProRes files without the need for converting to proxy files. And the next thing, along similar lines of being able to record in a new format, this also will record 4K 60. Now, I'm limited right now because the a7 III, in fact, all of my Sony cameras don't record in 4K 60. So I can do 1080 60, or I can do my 4K 24 or 30. But the cool thing about this is that it's kind of future-proofing. I'll be able to record on this with future cameras that I might get, whether that be other brands or new Sony ones when they finally come out with 4K 60. Maybe an a7 IV, maybe an a7S III. So once I get 4K 60, I'll be able to use it. We have a visitor. Hello. So this will be great because the workflow, no matter what camera I'm on, will partially be still there because I'll be using the same monitor recorder. And with specific cameras, this will actually shoot ProRes RAW as well, which gives you even more capabilities. What a guy. What are you doing? You want to be in the video? Okay, bye. So again, getting this monitor and recorder combo feels a bit like future-proofing to me. The next reason that I picked up the Atomos Ninja V is because I want to be able to record the screen of my camera and show you guys in videos. For example, if I wanted to go through the menus, I can now actually record that using the external recorder. Now, I did have a workaround, and I've done this before, where I recorded it straight to my computer using my Cam Link, which is for like live streaming. But I think this is gonna make it way easier for me, and I'm going to be able to actually show you guys like settings on the screen and that kind of thing. So hopefully that should improve the effectiveness of videos where I'm talking about what's happening on the screen. I can actually show you guys what's going on in the menus. The next reason that I got this is a rather simple one: to remove the recording limit that exists in the a7 III. Now the nice thing is that on the a6600 and the a6400, no recording limit, they got rid of it. However, on the a7 III, there is a 30-minute recording limit, and sometimes I sit here and chat at myself for an hour, and it sucks when I have to get up and go restart recording. I have to set a timer on my phone because there's no signal telling me that the recording has stopped. It just stops. I mean, for example, right now I've been babbling for 50 minutes between actually talking and, playing around with things in here so that I can know what I'm talking about. So being able to get rid of that recording limit is great. The only thing that I'm limited by is the amount of storage that I put on it. Right now, I've got a 1 terabyte SSD on there. So 1, it should be really fast, and 2, it should be plenty of storage for what I need to do. I totally forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about just the functions of having an external monitor, that the brightness on this thing is much better than the one that's built onto your camera. This has 1000 nits, so even if you're shooting out in bright daylight, you should be able to somewhat see this. You can buy an extra sun hood to put on it, but I opted out for now to see how it works, and then if I need it, I'll go get it later. And speaking of functions of the monitor again, the next reason that I wanted to get this is because it allows for Luts. Now, what I mean by this is if I'm shooting in something like S-Log2 or HLG, I have the ability to input Luts onto this monitor so that it will display it with the LUT applied. Now, it's not recording it with the LUT applied, it's just making it easier for me to know what the end result is going to look like with the current exposure that I have. So I can see what it's going to look like without the LUT on it or with the LUT on it, but it only is recording without the LUT. So you'll have that flat profile that you chose in your camera. And the final reason that I got this actually kind of brings me back to something that I said earlier. It may have been a little bit of a lie. I said that getting this wasn't going to be an improvement in quality. Technically, there is a small improvement in quality. Internally on the a7 III, I can record 8-bit color and 420. Externally, I can record 10-bit color, which I can't actually do because it doesn't output 10-bit color, so it's still going to be 8-bit, but I can record 422, which is going to give me a little bit more color information. Now, how much color information? It may be negligible, but hopefully it gives me a little bit more room to work, especially if I'm using things like S-Log, where it's really difficult to grade 8-bit S-Log footage. You just really can't push it around that much. So hopefully having a little bit more information in the colors should hopefully give me more room to play. So after a year and a half of deliberation, those are the reasons why I went out and picked up the Atomos Ninja V. Hopefully, if you were thinking about something like this, that might clear things up for you. I'm very excited to use it and hopefully make a review about it, or at least kind of give you guys some kind of an idea of how things are going along the way. It has been out for a while and there are lots of reviews out there, so I don't necessarily want to just repeat a bunch of stuff that's already out there. But if you do have questions, make sure to leave them below, and if something seems like it might make a good video, then I will try and make that for you guys. As always, I'll leave links to everything here in the description, so make sure to go check that out. Go down and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the whole thing, and on your way down there, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification if you haven't already. You won't miss anything that way. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.